Hey, it's Dan McDonald here, and we're on a video marathon, and I wanted to make a video today addressing how to heal yourself on a very limited budget. And so I'm going to do the ultra super juice recipe here today, and I also wanted to talk about a couple things as well. This is everybody's favorite juice recipe, and I'll share the math with you on that and some other philosophies and principles. But the first thing I wanted to say when it comes to like, hey Dan, I'm desperate, I don't have any money, I can't get a consultation, I can't afford any enzymes, I can't afford a juicer. Oh, so that doesn't really make sense for this video, does it? But there are cheap $40 juicers at the thrift store. Not that highly recommended, but then, ask for a juicer for Christmas. But so that's the first step. So let's leave that out for now. But so the first thing that I want to talk about is the changing of the mindset, because I was actually very impoverished in my consciousness. But then I began the reprogramming process many years ago, and brainwashed myself into a prosperity and abundance consciousness. So our thoughts, our beliefs, what we witnessed as children became these unconscious belief systems in our brain. I can't afford that. There's one word I can't stand, and the one word that destroys people's lives, and that word is pricey. Ooh, that's pricey. No, that thing is what it's worth. See, if you say the word pricey, you are screwing yourself. If you say I can't afford it, don't even say that. Maybe I can't afford it right now, or I haven't prioritized on that yet. But I'm just saying you have to watch your language and you have to watch your thoughts. Ooh, that's pricey. No, it isn't. It's worth it. That car is worth that much money. That service is worth that much money to that person or that company. That's what it takes to produce it, to provide it to you. Do you value it? If it's too pricey, then you just simply don't value it. So that word is one of my least favorite words, and I never use it unless I'm telling everyone not to use that word. Never to say I'm broke, I can't afford it. And also to pay the people. There's so many scammers. I see it in my line of work so much. Of course, I can spot it now from 100 miles away. Oh, I'll pay you later. Sure you will. I always get paid now before the consultations, because I just had it happen again. Oh, DTM, can we go ahead with the consultation? I'll go to the bank later. I'm just on the road right now. And then I go ahead and I think I go against my own normal principle, which is always get paid before the consultation. Did the consultation, 2 hours of my valuable and precious time. And then at the end of it, the guy was like, you know what? This is all a bunch of spiritual mumbo jumbo. I'm not going to change. You didn't help me. And so I'm not going to pay you. So boom. But you know what? He totally screwed himself. He will always be impoverished. He will always be broke. Do not be that guy. Do not be a scammer. Do not try to get ahead by nefarious means. You will lose, you will fail, you will self-destruct, and you will ruin your own life. Always be generous. Always give more. Give bigger tips. Give more money. Be generous with your money. And change your mind by using this mantra right here. Write this down and say it. Everybody who's struggling and wants to heal, feel better, lose weight, invest in themselves, change. I am experiencing overflowing abundance right now. I am experiencing overflowing abundance in every area of my life. How about that? That's a little bit better. I am experiencing overflowing abundance in every area of my life. I am experiencing overflowing abundance in every area of my life. I am experiencing overflowing abundance in every area of my life. Write that down. Say it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 times a day. Never stop repeating it. And your subconscious will say, no, we're not worthy, we're broke, this is stupid. It'll try to stop you. There's a battle in the heart of man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, wouldn't have worked out anyways. You know, there's that person in all of us, and then there's, I'm going to get this. I can do this. I am a champion. I will never give up. I am persistent. I am patient. I am diligent. I am focused. I am determined. I will succeed. We all have that person, and we all have this person, and the only difference is in degrees and subconscious programmings. But we all have the light of consciousness. We all have the infinite ability, the infinite potential to change and grow and evolve. As long as you're breathing, you have access to the wellspring of life and light and transformation of yourself. And so, according to how strong and powerful those subconscious beliefs are versus the how focused, determined, and laser sharp you are on saying different things, thinking different things, and programming yourself. If you are not reverse brainwashing yourself, if you are not programming yourself with something positive, you are being programmed with something negative by this world. Propaganda 24/7, 365 since the day you were born to brainwash you and to diminish your power, to take away your power. But you are the power. You are the elite. And you are the one that can save your butt. You are your own best counselor, your own best doctor, you're your own best scientist, you're your own best nutritionist. Be your own best financial advisor by saying, I am overflowing with abundance in every area of my life. Okay, can you dig it? Energy, money, relationships, health, strength, whatever. You can add that in there too. So that's step one, to brainwash yourself with positive thinking. And that when the resistance comes up, you just gird up your loins and you believe. And you keep believing that if I keep moving in this direction and facing this opposition, facing this subconscious, which is telling me, oh, this stupid mantra that you got from the Life Regenerator guy, you're wasting your time, it doesn't work, the universe doesn't work that way. Yes, it does. You make the world with your thoughts. Whatever's going on up in here, you will see, and you will create, and you will manifest. Some people are accident prone, they're broke all the time, or they see all I get ripped off all the time, or whatever. We attract that stuff, from our own thoughts. So I won't be attracting that anymore because I will get payment before the consultation. So I know that it's valuable information. And if somebody's like, well, I can't do this, I don't want to change, well, then that's their problem. But what I'm doing, it does work and it does have value. But anyways, I learned a valuable lesson and I take responsibility for that. And I wasn't even mad at the dude. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the globalists. I feel sorry for the rip-offs. I feel sorry for the rip-off artists and the cheesers, because they're just totally screwing themselves. So that's a huge lesson there, to reprogram yourself with abundance consciousness. Start now, and it'll instantaneously begin the process within the field of changing the field. But it takes time to manifest, but it will. Believe me, you'll attract. Okay. The second thing I just wanted to talk about was way more pragmatic. I said, I can't afford a juicer, so that's like, oh, wait a minute. So if you don't have a juicer, obviously you're just going to eat the apple, right? Which is great, and you'll eat the carrots, which I love. People are like, oh, kale, it's so stupid. I love kale. I really love. I had kale for dinner last night, as a matter of fact. So that example didn't come out of that last night, but kale, I love the way kale tastes, and I eat it plain, and everywhere I go, I grow it because it's an awesome plant, and it grows really well, and it's prolific, And so I love fruits and vegetables just plain, the way that they are. I love cabbage. I broke a 4-day water fast with cabbage once. So if you don't have a juicer, then you just start eating the fresh fruits and vegetables. But really, when it comes to healing yourself, when you are experiencing, financial, opportunities for more growth, really, let's put it in the positive context, you have a great opportunity to develop, financial affluence and creativity and a different mindset. There's the single mom that stays broke. Then there's a single mom that is like, this ain't gonna happen. My kids ain't gonna go hungry and they're gonna go to college. So she's got one in the nurser, bouncing the other one on the knee while she's doing programs and selling stuff on Amazon, okay? And the only difference between those two single moms with 3 kids is this one wants to do it and this one don't. She don't think she can. This one knows she's gonna do it. Okay, and that's important stuff to know. Powerful stuff. Okay, because she gets herself and her kids out of poverty, and this one never does and is on welfare and never gets out. Not welfare for a little while, everybody's had it, food stamps or whatever, but you don't want to be there forever. But they want to keep you there. See what I'm saying? The government wants to keep you there, a victim. Hell no, that's not what you want. So when it comes to healing though, even before the diet, here's the secret. This is slipped into this one weird video that I wanted to make on financial abundance in the middle of this thing. So here's the secret, man. Like, the ultimate medicine is inside of you and it's free. As long as you're breathing. If you're not breathing anymore and you're on the ground dead, this will not work for you. But if you are breathing and you're still plugged into the electrical socket of the universal energy which manifests in the human organism as vital force, meaning your nerves are still conducting energy and your heart is still beating and your lungs are still breathing and your blood is still making it to the extremities and to the organs, glands, and brain, which supports life, you have access to the ultimate medicine. But the key is you got to be calm. You got to be in a parasympathetic state. We are stressed to the max because it's too much. You got to simplify. The world's priorities are not the priorities of one who wants a peaceful, harmonious, simple, fulfilling, wholesome, harmonious life. In other words, be in the matrix, but not of the matrix. Because it's all no matter how many houses, cars, boats, money, fame, sex, all that you get, it ain't going to satisfy you, baby. But a connection to the ultimate medicine that is already in you. So the most powerful healing force, the greatest supplement on planet Earth available to you is already in you, operating 24/7, 365. From conception until death. And it's a connection with the universal life source principle. I like to call it God. It's got all manner of different names. It's 10 million names, and yet none of them quite do it justice. Call it whatever you want. It is the core and the source, the essence that makes life possible. The infinite being. And that is already in you right now, perfectly harmonized. It is peace that passes understanding. It is love overflowing and unconditional. It is the joy of life. It is perfect harmony. It is brilliant stillness and magnanimous phantasmagoria of activity. But it is perfectly balanced. It is whole already. It is in you now. That is why we practice the meditation. That is why we learn to connect with it. We go from the ego mind, which is worried about how can I get more stuff from the outside. And what you do is you start going inward and starting to see how can I connect with the wellspring of life that is already in me. It doesn't cost you anything because the harmony and the wholeness that you seek is already within you, but the mud of illusion is clouding the light and the clarity. So we sit, we stillness, we forgive, we forget, we simplify. We get rid of the extraneous, all the bull crap in our heads about I got to do this, I got to be that. The mom said this, church says that, school says this, my boyfriend says that, blah, 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 blah. And you got the world on your shoulders and you're stressed so you don't digest your food. And you're always in a sympathetic state of stress, fight or flight. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. But it's not. And so mind management is the key, my brothers and sisters. And I'm only telling you this because this dude's mind has been hoo-ha. And I came from a long line, a lot of drugs and stuff like that and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just barely starting to get this, but I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like the sweetness of stillness and presence of being. And that is the ultimate medicine. So really getting yourself into a parasympathetic state, a state of non-stress. You cannot heal in a state of stress. It will never work, but if you learn to relax, simplify, you don't need to, you're young, it's the young people sometimes, Dan, I'm totally broke, I can't afford anything, you know what I'm saying? So, do you have a bed? Can you just lay there and listen to music? 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, you've got some kind of health thing going on? Learn to just lay there, go inward, look at it, feel, ask it, show me. Show me. What is this? Where is this coming from? How can I heal this? Talk to yourself. Become your own best friend with the divinity that's already in you, with the ultimate medicine that's already operating fully. Just get out of its way. That's the beauty of fasting, juicing, raw foods, meditation. Anything that you can do to get out of the way, to get the ego, to get the worries, to get the fears, the anxieties, the long list of things to do. But as you find that parasympathetic state, you'll be able to be involved in life's activities in a much more calm, centered, and focused way. So as you go inward, you're able to see all of the different subconscious programs that are these fear programs that are running 24/7, 365 at the level of the unconscious. And that shuts the system down, and you've got to face these things. And I'll tell you, it's few and far between. The overcomers are few and far between. Be one of them. Be grateful when the shiznit hits the fan. Be grateful for pain. Be grateful for discomfort. Be grateful for the unpleasant. Face it. Embrace it. Welcome on in, brother. Welcome on in, brother of discontent, brother of discordance, brother of disharmony. Come on in. Sit for a while. You're okay here. I'm not going to run from you. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm going to let you just sit right here. I'm going to allow you. I'm going to allow this nasty feeling to just be there. I'm not going to respond to it. Oh, wow, this is extremely unpleasant. See? But you don't need to get up and smoke something, drink something, eat something, hump something, watch something, go to Facebook. You can just lay there. The more you lay there, the more you be with it, welcome it. Oh, there's fear. Wow, I didn't even know I was afraid of that. Amazing. That's the inward journey. The treasure is within you. You already are that. You are a beautiful manifestation of God. You are a child of God already. The light is in you. We're all a mixed bag of the light and the darkness and the muddy water. And we're all on a journey, an eternal soul's journey, to find the stillness, the glass clear lake of the mind waves, the center of harmony and the peace that passes understanding. And so the most powerful and potent healing medicine is already in you right now. And it's absolutely free. And we all have it. This is just my puppet show. I got to do something. But if I could, I would take the whole masses and I'd say, okay, Dan McDonald, teach us. And I'd be like, okay, everyone sit, cross-legged, find a comfortable position. We're going to just sit and be. Is that it? What are we going to be? What are we going to do? We are just going to be. And in that being, all of it comes up. Oh, wow, there it is. I never saw that before. I guess I could let that go now, because that really doesn't seem to serve me. I am not a worthless piece of crap. I don't need to be afraid of death, because that would be stupid, because death is coming. And I could spend my whole entire life being afraid of death and I'll never live. That's stupid. I'm going to let that one go. See, we would just sit there and be. And we would listen to the birds and listen to the bees and feel the wind on our skin. And we would just drop into that parasympathetic state of meditation. Oh, and the beauty that has on your nerves and your brain and your heart and your digestion. So see, true healing is not all about all this fancy stuff. I just love the enzymes and stuff like that. Everything has practical and pragmatic value. This carrot has practical, pragmatic value. It's got fiber, it's delicious, it's good for your teeth. Go on and on. But, it's just one small part working in unison with the ultimate medicine that's already inside of you, which is absolutely free and freely given to everyone as long as they have breath. Now, maybe on a little bit more of a practical level, we've got everyone's favorite, which is the carrot, apple, ginger. Now here's the thing, my friend. Now here's the juicer. This is a $700 juicer, but I juice every day, 2 or 3 times a day. So I need the TriBest Green Star Pro, and this thing is epic. It's better than the Elite because of the blades inside. If you want to get one, you can call Phil at Pyridime. It's my favorite juicer, has been for years. It's absolutely epic. I made nut butter yesterday out of this thing. The little nut butter comes out of there. It's amazing. Put the walnuts, you know what I'm saying? Epic. You can make ice cream or whatever, but mostly I just do the juicing. Now, this is a $700 juicer. Okay, let me show you this piece of crap. I mean, dude. Here it is, you know what I'm saying? So, here's this thing. Right here. This is the little Ninja $100 thing on the road, living in my car, driving all around the US to find a place where I could live where they don't make me wear no mask and where the people are sane. And I ended up here, Some people wear masks, but nobody yells at you for wearing a mask, and you don't have to wear a mask, and there's no guilt or it's stupid. You got to be able to breathe. Carbon dioxide is the dumbest thing on earth if there was such thing as a respiratory infection, which there is, but it's just bacteria because you've eaten too much cooked cow's milk and cheese and bread and slimy mucus foods. So it's the terrain and not, again, the germ theory. But I have that little thing, and I bought that, and then I finally was like, okay, I found this apartment. It's like, I'm sort of getting settled in now. I didn't want to get too much stuff, but this is important because I juice every day. So anyways, what I'm saying is that there are juicers for 99 bucks. Honestly, it sucked because really this thing has twice the extraction of that. And I was wasting a lot of money with that little juicer. Now, there's no such thing as a bad juicer, but you will lose a lot of money. So it's that's part of the problem of being broke, is that you can't afford the good one. So you buy a crappy car, then you got to spend a lot of money to fix it. But if you could lease a brand new one, it would go for 5 years without any problems, right? So I know what it's like to work your way out of the deal. I'm still like lower middle. But I'm very grateful because I am happy with a very simple life. But I would like to build myself up. That's why I'd like to get back on YouTube and see if I can make this thing work. So the crappy juicer kind of sucks. Then there's the Omega for like $250. And I think it's gone up a little like everything else has gone up. The Omega, but a juicer. But they also have the Breville, which is 99 bucks. The Breville Juice Fountain Plus, 99 bucks. And then there's the Juice Fountain Elite, which is more like 369, where you can take the whole apple and the whole carrot and the whole cucumber and put it in the big chute, which is fine. Centrifugal juices aren't as good in my opinion. They oxidize much more rapidly. This is a slow twin gear, nice slow squeeze. I mean, it gets like every drop out of the wheatgrass. The pulp is bone dry. So I obviously can't expect everyone to go out and spend $700 on a juicer, but work your way up, save up and get a good one. Like the Omega is a really good one. That's the one I think that the Medical Medium promotes. I like this one better. I've been juicing every day for 28 years, so I get a good sense of what I like and what works. And so we're working our way up. So if you're dead broke, remember, you have the medicine inside of you. It's about culturing, nurturing the inner self. That's the most important thing, and it requires no money. That's how good God is. That's how good nature is. That the most important thing is free, okay? Then there's all this other stuff that we do, and everyone has their little puppet show, and everyone has their little stuff, and the world's got to keep turning because everybody wants to eat, and we're all in this capitalistic thing, and no one's going to really escape it. So, don't hate the player, get mad at the game, but you won't even have time to be mad at the game if you're just like, look, I'm going to play the game. I'm in the world. I'm not of the world. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to win a game. Can you dig it? You know what I'm saying? And then you're just in the game, and you got to let go of all the guilt and stuff about all the stuff because you didn't make up the whole world as it is. And you can't just sit there and wait for alms. You know what I mean? You got to get up, get out, and get something, So just make sure you try not to be greedy, and you just try to keep it as balanced and harmonized as possible. So I could go on and on about this subject but what I really hope is that I'm saying something here that will bless some of these young people or even more mature people that are struggling with finances, but don't rip anybody off. That's the worst thing that dude did the other day. And dude, if you're watching, it's a highly good idea for you to pay me that money, because if you don't, you're telling the universe, I do not have, okay? And I am willing to scam people and take their time and money and not value their time and energy. So then you ain't going to get value for your time and energy. And that's why you will always be broke. Okay, I'm going to do fine without the $234, but your ass is going to be broke for the rest of your life. So that's the big lesson. Be generous, be honest, have integrity, pay the people. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge thing, man. So let's make this juice, because I want to tell you, this juice, we're going to find out how much it costs to make this juice, because this is the thing. This is half a bag of apples. The apples are $4 for the full bag. The carrots is $4 for the full bag. So this is $2 worth of carrots and $2 worth of apples, and I will estimate it's somewhere between 25 cents and 50 cents for this. So let's go 50 cents for this. So far we're at $4.50. Let's see if it even takes all of that though. First we're going to do all the carrots, which is going to take some time, and this went a lot longer than I thought, but I'm thinking of all the young people that write me desperately, and I'm trying to really give some heartfelt advice, because it is true. I know that I'm up here doing my thing all the time, schlepping everything under the sun, just trying to get by, but I like to get by in a good way. There's some things I want to do with my life, you know what I mean? And besides, the thing is though, too, that's like my guilt coming through. That's like my guilt coming through. But it's like, look at this. Look at these pharmaceutical companies killing everybody for decades, a century, 119 years of fraud. and death and murdering and iatrogenic disease, the third leading cause. Well, theoretically, the third leading cause, the iatrogenic disease, right? Which is medically induced death. That's the third leading killer in the world. And these dudes got $1 trillion a year industry, the sickness industry. And so here I am like, oh, I feel so bad because I'm doing capitalism. That's stupid. Now I got to change my programs, dude. You know, because this actually, like if you do this, let's say you do go on, start juicing and eating live foods. I mean, your life is going to change in a big way. For me it was. I mean, I can't even believe who I am now. There are still some residues of the childhood traumas and stuff that I'm still working through, okay? But I'm a completely different animal. I can't even believe some of the things that I do, you know? Like the type of person that I've become and what my priorities are and my goals are now. It's amazing, dude. Like getting yourself cleaned up and following the truth, it's like amazing. And it's rare. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of lip service. There's a lot of, spiritual circus on the Instagram and stuff. I don't need to mean to really be negative or anything, but it's easy to say the flowery words, man. But it's hard to walk the path. You know, it's hard to continually self-correct, to do what you know is right, to give up desires. You know, and we can argue about that all day. People are always arguing about that and trying to give me religious advice and stuff like that. But the more I let go of, the more fulfilled I am. All the pleasures of the world, they're like dirty dust. You know? I don't know, man. There's nothing wrong with being human and enjoying human life, but we just tend to get addicted and attached to it, and that's the problem, is the prison. You know, there's a freedom in the diet and the sex life and the money life, and it's just, you got to make sure you're being honest with yourself, that you're not trapped in like relationship addiction. Like some people get addicted to the newness, so every 6 months or every year they got to find a new person. Or people are like, oh, I'm not addicted to money. I just got to work 80 hours a week because I'm just, but they neglect their kids or whatever, or their family, And believe me, when I say stuff like that, I'm like, I'm nobody's, I'm no prime example either. Especially when it came to that, I tried my best though, And my kids still don't really understand that I just didn't want to fight with my ex-wife anymore. I don't want to fight. She loves to fight. And I just didn't want to. And I didn't want to be yelled at all the time. And I didn't want to be blamed. So I couldn't be around as much as I would have been. And they don't really know that yet. So they're kind of still mad at me, But I just I can't put up with it, man. I need to be loved and respected and honored. And I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight or yell with anybody. And so I was no prime example or anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, as far as the example goes, if we got to be really like, oh, I'm not addicted to money. It's like, oh, yeah, you are, which it's no one to judge, but it's hard to see ourselves sometimes, And we're thinking all of ourselves, okay, well, I'm going to work up until I'm like 65, or I'm going to work until I have a friend. He's probably watching this video right now. He's like, I'm going to retire when I'm 40. And he's like, I think he's 50 now, and he's still grinding. And I can't break free from the whole thing, and it's like this thing, he's stuck. And DTM, he's kind of a rebel in a way, but I'm like, I ain't getting stuck on the wheel. That's why I don't really own anything. And people are like, you got to own this, you got to get a house, you got to have big cars, you got to do this. I'm like, no, I am free, and I want to stay that way. I do not want to be caught up in this prison of like loans for school loans, you know? And I mean, think about how many people own hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to some dumb place and get brainwashed. That's the way I see it. There are some good schools, and you can develop skills and patience and focus and determination, but at the end of the day, if you want to learn and become successful, you do not need a college education. You don't even need a high school education. Okay, I made it to 8th grade. Okay, and the only reason was because I was too goddamn smart for them. I was a little genius who wanted to live life and go out and play on the playground. And they wanted me to sit there like a little douchebag for 8 hours a day, and they feed me this garbage filth, and then you want me to go to like higher education, which nowadays is lower education. It calibrates below integrity. Most of these institutions are bought off, and it's a low vibration, man. And so people go into debt for education, and then now look at the doctors. They'd spent all that money, and now they're like, wow, this thing, we can't heal our way out of a wet paper sack. None of my patients ever get well. I just spend their whole entire life suppressing their symptoms. So then all these years I've been given shit because I make money here. This is my job. And I had my own unconscious guilt, which I'm working on getting rid of completely in toto, because the death industry, the pharmaceutical suppression of all your symptoms, in other words, you take your car to the mechanic, right? And he takes a piece of black tape and puts it over the check engine light and says, there you go, fix your car, bro. That'll be $500. And you're like, wait a minute, you just put a piece of black tape over my check engine light. You didn't even do anything. That's right, baby. Welcome to pharmaceutical medical cartel. Yeah. You never get any better, you dumb son of a bitch. But we will take your money, and we'll make you a hell of a lot worse in the process. And your liver's going to be screwed up. And by the way, half these drugs have fluoride in them. So you're going to be dumbered in a pile of burning dog crap. But hey, welcome to pharmaceutical land. And by the way, Dan McDonald, you're guilty. You're teaching people how to drink juice and heal themselves and get rid of all chronic diseases and totally regenerate their entire life through raw foods, fasting, and detoxification. Oh, how dare you. You're supposed to be so pseudo-spiritual and give away everything for free and live in your fucking car. You know? You can tell I still haven't gotten over it, but maybe this video is going to help me, you know? And I have lived in my car before. And I really don't want to go back to that, but I can. And I'm going to try to avoid that from happening, because I went through this whole time that I've been gone off of YouTube, my savings and everything. And I was just grinding by, you know, doing odd jobs and stuff. But, you know, that's part of the problem is like, oh, you're supposed to be a healer. You're supposed to give away everything for free. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? This is extremely valuable knowledge that I have ground my bones into chalk to become it. I have boom, 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 pounded myself into what I am now, which is really good. Relatively quite happy. And quite healthy for a man my age. And quite virile, which is also like a big thing because they're eating all the processed food and then their testicles shrink up. And there's all this, gender dysphoria and stuff because of all the chemicals. People don't know, am I a guy or a girl? Not to judge them or put that down. I know that's a very broad subject. But we still shouldn't make us, don't make us heterosexual masculine men feel bad. I don't give a crap about these feminists and all that junk. I am a man, and I'm not putting up with no crap from nobody about it. And I'm certainly not going to eat any soy products, okay? I just don't eat soy. I don't eat processed foods with all the chemicals because I don't want my testicles to shrink up. And you know what? You can be on a live foods diet and still have incredibly fat, heavy sack full of power. Because the nuts, the seeds, the fruits, the vegetables, when you're on just fruit, you're way up here in your higher chakras and you're like, oh, sex, no thank you. Now, I practice yogi, so I am consciously and deliberately chaste and continent sexually at the moment for this process that I'm in as I hide out in my little cave here to try to get the mental and emotional bodies clean and clear once and for all. Okay? So, boom. So there was probably some point, and I watched this video maybe and be like, oops, I went off on a rabbit track and lost my train of thought. But anyhow, I'm just wrapping today. This is a little bit more deep, but my point to all that was that these dudes are making trillions of dollars suppressing natural. Okay, normal is one thing, natural is another. Okay, yeah, the juicer, maybe not the most natural thing in the world, but hey, there are many animals that actually suck the juice out of fruits and vegetables and plants all over the world. So if you wanted to, you could juice these apples and just suck the juice out. Anyhow, there was a thought there or something that got missed, but I'll find it out later, so I apologize for that. But you know, I am really working on allowing myself to experience overflowing abundance on every level, and mostly financial. You know, there's a thing there. There's like a blueprint, and I don't want to have that capped off. Like, money is not the be-all end-all for me, but there's a couple of things I'd like to do on this planet before I leave, and it's going to take a little bit of capital. So I'm going to see if I can get this thing going again and get that program completely out of there, because I've taken it to a pretty good degree, but there's like this cap, and I believe I can blow through the cap, because what I'm doing, I value this. That's the thing. Like, that's why I kind of keep a lot of it to myself and kind of went inwards for the last like year and a half, because I'm like, wow, does anybody even value this? Am I just throwing this away? Or, you know, it's like, this is like sacred knowledge of life that's hard earned, and it's extremely valuable, you know? And I know now that most people will never act upon it, you know? And that's sad, but I am going to act upon it to the absolute best of my ability and focus and utilize this information and knowledge to achieve the things that I want to see happen with this one in this lifetime. And that's just it. So he's determined and focused, and maybe it's not easy, but it still is awesome. Okay, so I'm just rambling on now. But I deserve overflowing financial abundance. I deserve overflowing financial abundance. I deserve abundance, financial abundance. I am worthy to receive overflowing financial abundance through the work and the creativity and the art that I produce in this world. And so I'm going to take it. I'm open to receive overflowing financial abundance. Amen. Thank you very much for taking your time. Now, to wrap up, this is 1 quart of carrot, apple, ginger, and it's actually, here we go. I think, again, I don't have any jars. How does that happen? Damn it. So I used 1/4 of a bag, so $1 worth of apples and $2 worth of carrots. So this juice for a quart is $3.50. Now, my friend, this is medicine. This is living water, antioxidants. Carrots are amazing for the liver. Apples cleanse the gastrointestinal tract and keep the pipes clean. Ginger is great for the circulation. And that's what you're doing. You're enhancing circulation using these juices and foods as a solvent to melt all the sludge and the slime and the mucus in your large pipes and your small microcapillary pipes. That's what happens to human beings. The pipes get clogged. It's sludge, it's slime, it's mucus, it's cheesy, bready, fried oil, gunk, junk, slime, and all that just becomes occluded within the organism. And so that needs to be melted and dissolved away with fresh, wholesome foods and the high water foods and water fasting and colonics and body work and yoga and rebounding and exercise, pumping the blood. And then when you pump the blood, then you go home and have some kind of solvent type food, whether that's a juice or a fruit or a vegetable meal, or a vegetables are more mechanical, whereas the fruit is more of the solvent, you know, and has all the fruit acids that dissolve and cut through all of the, mucus is a great Arnold Ehret, there's several different words for it, but accumulations of just undigested waste matter, which is where you're going to get problems with this whole, that's what they call the COVID, is just people that just have too much sludge, slime, and filth, undigested, decaying, fermenting, and rancidifying debris, occlusions, and the bacterias are just festering because they're there because the slime is there and it's a non-oxygenated environment. That's why the supercell's oxygen is good, but there's oxygen in this too, but just, so I was going to leave the supplements off this video since this is a video for all you poor people. But hey, I'm actually right there with you, because I'm working on that block. Like, I've done good. I kind of came off of like the street, like the hood rat stealing DVDs and CDs from Fred Meyer and then returning them and then buying drugs, to working my way up in the window business and started making like, $39 an hour. And then I worked it all the way up, $49 an hour. And then one of my friends was like, dude, your prices are way too low, bro. You need to put $99 on that. And I was like, that's way too much. Oh my God, I could never charge $99 to clean the outside windows or the gutters or the roofs or the driveway pressure wash. So windows exterior, $99. And gutters, $99. Driveway pressure wash, $99. I thought my friend was crazy, but you know what? I was like, okay, you're a businessman. You've been doing this for a while. I'll try it. I went to the printer shop. I had the lady that made me up these awesome flyers. Squeegee Clean Windows and Gutters was the name of my business. And I had her put on there, take it from $39 to $99. And that was quite a leap. And I didn't believe. But dude, you want to know what happened? My business blasted off because they must have thought, well, this $39, this must be some crackhead. I'm not going to call him. Or some cheap lowballer. And then when I raised it to $99, which was outstanding and beyond my scope of conception, but if I didn't meet my friend and he absolutely twisted my neck to put $99 on that flyer, as soon as I started handing out them flyers, I used to walk, because this dude's like, Dan, I have to work for a living. I'm not paying you the money that I owe you. It's like, I have worked my ass off since I was 8 years old, okay? And I worked my ass off, and I used to do all the flyering, and I'd walk around the neighborhoods for 2 or 3 hours a day, every day, so that I could get one more call, sometimes 2 or 3 even. I'd go out flyering, I'd get 1 or more call the next day, and I kept it going. And finally I built up a business, and I got good at it, But I went from 99, and I thought that's way too much. But then I started getting all these awesome clients. And then someone said, well, you need to go to Mercer Island where Bill Gates lives. So then I took these $99 flyers. I went to the richest part of town, Started putting them under there, and bam, I had the dopest business. I said, I'm not going nowhere else except Mercer Island. And I was working on these huge houses. And then, of course, the people would be like, oh, dude, $99 for this huge ass house is not enough. So write up a thing and tell me how much. And I'd be like, well, how about $299? And they'd be like, fine, that's great, because they'd have huge houses. And I'd be getting $300 to clean the outside, and then I worked my way out. Then I got an apartment, and that all went crazy, but I won't even tell you that story. I had to run from the cops more than one time in my life. But anyhow, I worked my way up, and then actually the landlord went in and took all my crap out because I wouldn't sleep with her, and she threw it all in the... She evicted me, so I'm like, you're married and you are not my type. Okay, at all, lady. Zero. So she kicked me out, threw my stuff out. Then I was back to where I started. So I literally had to start from scratch, like with nothing, 3 or 4 times, really. There was another time these dudes attacked me, smashed my bike, and almost smashed me, but I actually ended up grabbing a hammer, and I said, dude, and I screamed out, I don't want to fight you, leave me alone, because I'm smart. And I knew these guys had a baseball bat, a skateboard, and they were coming after me. They thought that I stole the DVDs because the crackheads told them. It was the crackheads. I was just a weed head at the time. I got off the crack and I was out of the more hardcore stuff. I was just like a pothead floating around, hooking up with all these little hippie chicks and stuff, sleeping at the park. But then, and these dudes are coming after me, you stole my shit. I'm like, dude, that was when I started to really get away from the stealing. That really bothered me. I was a little thief my whole life. I was a terrible liar, a terrible thief, but I did steal a lot of stuff, and I did get caught, but I never got caught, because I could run like a son of a bitch, especially when I'm running for my life. But I stole a lot of stuff. Forgive me, Lord. Can you dig it? I forgive myself. I was just a dumb kid. Then I tried to stop stealing. But anyways, these dudes came after me with the skateboard and the baseball bat. I was like, hey, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. But then they smashed up my brand new bike. I had it for one day. I was going to buy a new van to live in. And I had just gotten out of prison. And I was like, you know what? And my dad was with me, and I had like $500. I'm trying to find a van. It's like, yeah, right. $500. Can't buy a van. So I ended up said, Dad, fuck it. I'm just going to buy a bike, because riding is what made me happy. I said, I'll sleep on the street. I just want to be free. I just want to be happy. I just want a bike. I just got out of prison. I want to ride. I want to be free. That's what I've always wanted, is to be free. That's why I'm the Life Regenerator on YouTube, man, because I'm not going to be nobody's slave. I would rather live in a ditch than be under somebody's thumb. That's why I don't want communism to come to this country. That's why I don't give a shit about these politicians. I'm not going to do what any of them say. I don't do what anyone says. I trust me. This is the dude I have learned to trust. And I recommend everyone does that. Trust yourself. Listen to yourself. Follow yourself and nobody else. There are great teachers, mentors, there are inspirations, but you are your source of light and knowledge and inspiration, because it's written on the scroll of your heart. And learn to read the scroll of your own heart. So I bought a bike and I just rode. And I had it for one day, and these dudes chased me down in the car and they smashed up my bike with a baseball bat, and I was pissed. But I was smart enough to say, I don't want to fight you. Please leave me alone. I had a hammer and I was going to use it if I had to. And I did, but not on them. Finally, there was enough of a ruckus. I was yelling, and people came out, and then they were like, okay, we better leave. They smashed up my bike. So it was one of the most coolest memories in my life. They were driving away, and I thought to myself, too many mother effers have gotten away with hurting me in my life, and not this time. And they were driving away. They were about probably 25 yards away, like about a quarter of a football field. And I just took that hammer and I was just like the bionic man, dude. And I was like, it was like slow motion, right out the back of their window. I was stoked. Then I went and ran and hid, and because I knew the cops would be there any minute. Then I came out to the cops and the dudes who were like, this dude just broke our window. I said, motherfucker, look at my bike. Look at what you guys did. He stole it. I said, I ain't no crackhead. The crackheads stole the CDs and the DVDs. I did not steal anything from these guys. And then I had 8 witnesses that said this dude kept telling them that he don't want to fight, but they kept coming after him. Then the cops said, all right, you guys are the ones that got in trouble. I played that one right because I was a street smart, okay? That's what I have. I got street smarts. All right? Yeah, boy. So street smarts is better, way, 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 way better, because street smarts is like, you want to inject me with what? Now, education from a school is like, well, of course, polio, smallpox, the Spanish flu. Of course, I read all the fake history in school and they taught me. So yeah, here, go ahead. As many boosters as you want. Boosters, boosters. I'm on my 47th booster. Yay! I'm on my 47th booster. I'm healthy, healthy, healthy. Yeah, exactly. So, now you know how not to be broke, and you know that the greatest medicine is for free. And we went crazy. I want to drink this, but I have no jars. I went and filled all my jars with water. So I'm going to have to go off camera. I want to slam this. I still hasn't even finished my lemon ginger blast from the last video. Then I'm going to do another video marathon. We're going to make some coconut almond yogurt and a blueberry smoothie. Thank you so much for taking your time to hang out with me and give me a purpose. My heart really hopes that some of the things that I say or do here will be a blessing to your life. I know that this human life is not always easy, and I just want you to know that I know that. And, you know, I will do my best to not judge you. You know, I know I just judged the people that loved getting boosters, but come on, man, wake up, dude. You're putting the rest of us at risk. You know what I mean? If everybody just stood up and said, boop, no, thank you, you know, then they'd be like, wow, we're not going to be able to pull this off. But the more people that are like, okay, I'm coerced into it, go ahead. It's like, man, some of this is going to be irreversible, man. And so it's going to be a real deal. So take good care of yourselves. Be wise. Be wise, my friends, and survive the game. Be a winner in the game of life, okay? Survive through the genocide, okay? Because I want to be one of those 500 million that gets to polish robots, right? No, we're going to make it. It's going to be 2024, and then they're going to finally lay off this whole thing, and then they're going to go it's going to be some kind of alien thing, or the global warming, weather modification, or whatever they call it, climate change. Oh yeah, you mean like the sun comes up in the morning and then the climate changes at night when the sun goes down? Yeah, it's been happening for like billions of years. I seriously doubt that nature's gonna acquiesce to your present agenda. You know, the planet's been fine for billions of years. Why don't you don't worry about it? It's gonna be all right, you know. Anyhow, you are awesome. I will send you, and I am sending you and myself and all of us and everyone in this world blessings of abundance, overflowing abundance on every level for you and for me and for all of us. I really appreciate your time and attention. On Friday, the 31st of December, I'm going to be doing a live Zoom hangout where we're just going to be hanging out and talking on New Year's Eve. So if you want to join the elite video club on Patreon. That'd be really awesome. It's one of my favorite things. That's my family, my people. I love to see faces on Zoom calls. It's so cool to get to know people, see people, the diversity. So if you ever feel inclined to join the Elite Video Club, go on over there and check it out. I hope to see you there on Friday, DTM. I'm out. And 60 seconds.